What up, kinfolk? This is your boy, the Do-Rag Gamer in the house, aka William Talley. And this is not the retro gaming device video that I promised. I'm still putting the finishing touches on that. I'm hoping I'll have it up either tomorrow or no later than Tuesday. This is a video about something that I've been wanting to speak that came up over the past few days, and just something that I wanted to speak on. So, if you haven't been keeping up with the news, a few weeks ago, a young man named Elijah Al-Amin, a 17-year-old, he was stabbed to death by a piece of shit called Michael Paul Adams. What happened was Mr. Paul Adams didn't like that Elijah was listening to rap music in his vehicle, so he followed him inside Circle K and proceeded to stab him to death with a pocket knife. So if you've been keeping up with the media the past few days, then they've wasted no time in playing up Michael Paul Adams' mental illness and troubled background. So now, of course, I'll get back to that in a second. But of course, so no doubt, we'll protest. We'll make our hashtags. We'll get angry. We'll do whatever we have to do to get through this, and hopefully this piece of shit will be convicted. And we'll go back to, and life will go on, and we'll go back to doing what we do, and to the next time something like this happens. But there is something that gets lost every time we hear about one of these things, and it's not just about black people as well. Um, let's take a look at the case of Ying Ying Zhang, and I do and I do apologize if I pronounced that wrong, but this was the young woman who this was the Chinese student who was kidnapped and murdered by a piece of shit called Brent Christensen. So he went to trial this past week, and of course, they're doing a whole character witness thing, and they're bringing, and of course, his father is playing up his troubled background, his mental illnesses and shit, and we're hearing about like how he was such a good student and how he had such a hard life, and how his mom was an alcoholic, and all this other all this other shit he was doing, how he was a Cub Scout back in grade school, and how he was a good student and whatnot. And a few years ago, and speaking of Chinese university students, there was another one. This one is from way back, I think back in 2016. A road rage incident in Arizona claimed the life of Holly Davis. I mean, no. Holly Davis was the killer, and the victim, it was actually named Yu Jiang. Once again, please forgive me if I didn't pronounce that right. But what happened was there was a fender bender, and Holly Davis got out of her car and started shooting at the victim, and opened fire on her car, and it hit her, and Yu Jiang died in the hospital. So of course, if you check the coverage on her, then you'll hear about how Holly Davis was suffering from depression and was estranged from her husband, and she had done 3 years in jail for resisting and fleeing a lawful stop. And you'll hear all sorts of little sob stories about her little background, but you're not gonna hear a whole lot about Yu Jiang. I mean, I'm looking at this article in the NY Daily News from years back, and most we hear about her was that her boyfriend was a sophomore student majoring in communications, and the university has made grief counselors available to their fellow students in the wake of her death. So you had one more from from years back, but this one takes place. This one is just going. This one went to trial this past March, but it happened a few years back, and it happened like a few miles away from where I'm living right now, which is Twinsburg. This happened in Solon. So a North Ridgeville man known as Matthew Desha murdered 53-year-old Deborah Pearl after another road rage incident. What happened was that Desha, I don't give a fuck, He ran a traffic stop and crashed into Pearl's car, and he got out of his car with a vehicle and he shot Pearl multiple times. So of course, if you look at the coverage of that, once again they're playing up the whole mental illness label. This time it's PTSD because he was a vet from Iraq. So first of all, what I would like to say is first of all, fuck Holly Davis, fuck Michael D. Fuck fuck Matthew Deisha. That's what I should have said, and fuck Brent Crinch and fuck Brent Brent or however the fuck pronounce his name. Fuck Brent Christensen, and most of all, fuck Michael Paul Adams. Millions of people in the world have fucking mental illness. Millions of people in the world, in this country alone, deal with fucking PTSD. They do not go on fucking shooting rampages. They do not kill innocent people. This makes this as somebody who has both family and friends with mental illness, this makes them look bad, and this pisses me off. Especially when you won't give the same, especially when the media doesn't even give the same kind of consideration to people of color who go on murdering sprees. We hear about their past criminal record. We hear about them being a thug back in the days or whatever. Hell, look at Trayvon Martin. He was the guy who was murdered by fucking George Zimmerman, who I can't believe isn't in jail right now. Despite the amount of fucking mugshots he's had since then. They tried to go back to his past and they dug up old photographs of him supposedly throwing up gang signs. I mean, the whole goal of this shit was to make you sympathize with this killer more than you do with his victims. So that doesn't make any fucking sense. Mental illness is not the issue. Mental illness is not the fucking issue. A lack of empathy and a lack of common sense is. So once again, fuck Michael Paul Adams, fuck Brent Christensen, fuck Matthew Deja, and fuck Holly Davis, and fuck any other piece of shit who tries to use mental illness as a cover up for murdering innocent people. That goes for white, black, Hispanic, Chinese. I don't give a fuck. But yeah, I'm done here. So now that I got that off my chest, I'm gonna go back to having fun again. Like I said, I'm gonna try to have that retro gaming video up by early next week, and I got some more game streams. So make sure you comment, subscribe to the channel, comment, let me know what you think, and now that I'm done raging, you can go back to having a great rest of your weekend.